On the surface, Sombr's hit song Undressed feels harmonically simple, just a few familiar diatonic chords that loop for most of the track. But then the bridge hits and everything unravels. The harmony suddenly feels unstable, chaotic, even uncomfortable. This shift isn't accidental. In this video, we'll dissect how Sombr uses harmonic contrast to shape the emotional arc of his breakup song, and why this contrast makes the bridge feel devastating. It's a powerful technique that you too can use to build the climax in your songs. But first, here's a quote from Sombr about the meaning of Undressed. Undressed is about not wanting to start a new relationship because you are longing for the old one. You want the familiar and not the unknown. Now that we know what the song is about, let's get into the harmony. Undressed is in the key of C major. The diatonic chords in this key are C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished. Any chord that's not in this set is non-diatonic. Keep this in mind because this concept is going to play a critical role when we get to the bridge. Looking at the verse, the chords in this section are A minor, G major, F major, and C major. Let's hear what this sounds like. Emotionally, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening here. The progression begins on A minor, which is the minor 6th chord. This creates a sadder vibe right from the start. In fact, if you had the same sequence of chords, but started on the tonic C major chord instead of the minor 6, you would get a much more positive tone. Here's what that would sound like. For comparison, here again is the actual chord progression from the song. Now, even though the A minor creates a sadder vibe, you do get 3 more positive major chords after that: G major, F major, and C major. These major chords indicate that Sombr is still holding on to the relationship. How do we know? Well, let's look at the lyrics. You had a dream, you wanted better, you were sick of all the holes in your sweater, you looked to me and wondered whether I was the lamppost to which you were tethered. These lyrics are all written from Sombr's partner's perspective. So while his partner is pulling away, Sombr hasn't reacted yet and is still committed to the relationship. The chord progression perfectly captures this tension. Sadness is present, indicated by the A minor, but it's not yet overwhelming, indicated by the G, F, and C. It's a fascinating section, but the story continues to develop in the pre-chorus, where we find the same 4 chords as the verse, but this time in a different sequence: F major, G major, A minor, and C major. Let's hear what this sounds like. This resequenced chord progression tells us that Sombr is fixated on the relationship and continuing to process the situation without reacting to it. How do we know he isn't reacting? Because the lyrics are again written from his partner's perspective. I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, but the glimmer in your eyes is saying you want to leave. You say you don't mean what you're saying to me, but the glimmer in your eyes is telling me other things. So while Sombr is still committed to the relationship, his partner is moving closer to breaking up. This brings us to the chorus, where the perspective shifts for the first time in the song. The chord progression in this section is the same as the verse: A minor, G major, F major, and C major. So if the chords are the same as before, how do we know the perspective shifts? Well, in the verse, Sombr's partner was ready to move on. Here, Sombr is returning to that situation, indicated by the same chord progression, but now he is responding from his perspective and affirming that he wants to stay in the relationship. This is indicated in the lyrics when he says, "I don't want to get undressed for a new person all over again." So now you have a situation where Sombr has made it clear he doesn't want to end the relationship, and that sets us up beautifully for the bridge. Are you ready for this? The main lyrics in the bridge are, "I don't want the children of another man to have the eyes of the girl that I won't forget." These lyrics are written from Sombr's perspective. He realizes his relationship is ending, and he's devastated at the thought of his partner having a child with another man. So how did the chords tell this heartbreaking story? We'll unwrap this in a second. First, let's listen to the chords in the bridge. The progression starts with D minor 7, the minor 2 chord. Not only is this a tense chord, but it's also the first time we're hearing it in the song. Then it goes to a dominant E7 chord, which is a non-diatonic chord that doesn't belong in the key of C major, thus adding even more instability. Then after playing the verse chords twice, we get another minor 2 chord, D minor, followed by a dominant D7 chord, which, like the E7, is a non-diatonic chord that doesn't belong to the key of C major. The verse chords are repeated again, then finally we end with 2 measures of D minor. So while all the other sections end on the stable tonic chord of C major, the bridge ends on the unstable minor 2 chord. So in summary, Sombr uses non-diatonic dominant chords and minor 2 chords to express that he's devastated. And while all the previous sections have 4 repeating chords that loop, the bridge contains a greater number of chords that don't really repeat in a cycle. This longer winding progression conveys that Sombr is feeling lost. And finally, ending the progression on the unstable minor 2 chord perfectly captures the tension that Sombr feels when he thinks of his partner having a child with another man. It's so powerful. Let's hear these chords again, this time with the song blended in. Couple of final thoughts about the song. The reason this bridge is so powerful is because of how it contrasts from the previous sections. It's not just the chords within the bridge that makes it so devastating. It's the stability that came before it in the previous sections. The song goes from straightforward diatonic triads that loop to a longer winding progression in the bridge with non-diatonic and other tension chords. Narratively, this shift from stable to unstable harmony reflects Sombr's shift from hanging on to the relationship to complete meltdown in the bridge. Alright, now it's your turn. Here's my challenge to you. Write a short chord progression, like 3 or 4 chords long, and loop it for most of the sections in your song. Then break this harmonic pattern in the bridge or some other key section in your song. To do this, you can apply some of the techniques we discussed in this video, including introducing non-diatonic chords, ending the progression on a tense chord, or creating a longer, more winding progression. You should immediately notice how much heavier this section feels because of the stability that came before it. Okay, that's all for this video. If you liked it and want to dive deeper, here are some free options for you. First, we've created a free resource library. It includes the song map from this video, along with every resource we've given away in the past on this channel, and every resource we'll give away in the future. You can access it at toomanyhooks.com/resources. Second, if you'd like a free one-on-one session to ask me any questions about songwriting, go to toomanyhooks.com/free session. You'll find links to both of these free options in the description below. And if you'd like to see more of our song analysis videos, here are 2 I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.